Welcome back. So, in our Selenium with Java series, today we are going to see how we can automate or handle multiple browser windows. Now, what are multiple browser windows? So, there are instances where when you click a particular link or a button, it might pop up few more browser windows. That could be your advertisements or some kind of informational. So, all those pop-ups we need to handle it. Or there is another instance where let's say that you're clicking on a link which which goes to a new tab on your browser and then renders the browser elements there. So driver cannot handle that out of the box actually, because we have to specify the driver instance to kind of switch to those particular windows. And then while on that window, once you switch to, then you can perform certain action and then you can come back as usual. Now, to switch to that window, how we can handle it, how we can come to know that which window we are navigating, and then handling certain elements and then come back to our parent window. So all these details we will be going to see in this session. Okay, so stay tuned and do subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't. Okay, so for this Selenium has provided a couple of methods actually, and before I will be going over to the Selenium available methods, let's first understand how exactly the pop-ups looks like and what are the possible browser windows it can pop up. So for this actually I have a demo application which we will keep on looking into this. I will just give this browser link into the description below so that you can practice by using this one. Okay, so now for an instance, let's say that I'm clicking on this button and then this pops up or this goes to a new tab with a browser elements. So now if I'm clicking, you can see it is navigating to a new window where it is giving. And now here probably maybe you can add some value into this first name, email, or whatever action you want to do, and then close this window. So that is one kind of scenario. Another one where it will kind of give you couple of pop-ups actually, like especially if you go to any Naukri.com or any job sites, or if you go to any kind of what do you call your travel websites where it is kind of giving you more number of advertisements. So that's where you will get this scenario. So let me just click on this particular link. You can see it is popping up two new windows actually here. Okay, so probably you need to go to this window, verify a couple of things like your browser title, browser URL, and then close this. The same thing, navigate to this particular window, do whatever you want and then close it, and then come back to our parent window. So that is something we normally going to see actually in this particular session. Okay, so as I was telling, like Selenium has provided couple of methods. Let's see that. So two particular methods which we will be extensively using for this particular purpose. One is getWindowHandle. Now what this does, so this method returns the current browser window. So when you are navigating to something, now that time it will give you what current window the driver instance is holding, that string it will give. So this basically returns a string. So this is nothing but your browser window handle ID actually. By using that ID you can switch to any other window as well. Fine. Now, if I have only one window, then this is helpful for me, right? Let's say that if you are doing driver.get google.com. So when you say get window handle, then it will give you the window handle ID which the driver is holding, that is your google.com browser window. Okay. Now, when you have multiple windows, that time what it is going to do, this particular method will not work for you, right? Because this returns only one string, that is one browser handle window only, or window ID actually. So that's why they provided another method, that is get window handles actually. Now you can see it is plural, so it means that it should return you multiple window handle IDs, okay, which you can keep it into a list or set. Now the question comes, do we really need to keep it into a set or a list? So it should be into a set. It returns you set of strings. Why it is collection set? Because not all what do you call, all the browser window id whatever you are getting, that should be unique actually, because multiple window, each window has its own unique id. So that's why you have to keep it in a set actually. Now based on that you can loop it, you can navigate to each of the window that you need. Okay, fine. Now how do you switch? So these are the different ways to identify which window id you want to switch it, but how do you switch it? So for this actually Selenium provided a method that is switch to, and then it exposes a window method where you can give that particular string which you got it from window handle or window handles. So that's how these are the three different ways actually, or three different what you call Selenium ways you can handle those browser windows. So we will be seeing each one of that in this. So for this I'm going to our the existing repo which we were keep on looking into this, and in this actually let me do one thing. I'll copy our existing template or the what do you call, the methods that we were using, so that I need not to write again and again. So here I'm saying multi window. Okay, multi window sample. Now here what I'm going to do, delete everything as usual, because I want to only keep these things as it is only here. Fine. Okay. So now here instead of this I need to use the proper what do you call, the URL, and that is this one, and then navigate to the IntelliJ, and then you paste it. Okay, fine. Now the first thing is that now whenever I'm navigating to this particular browser URL, what I need to do, as I said, the first method, let's try to do that. Let me give that as a parent window. Let's keep this as parent window. Okay, equal to driver dot get window handle. You can see it is giving you that. And how I know that it is a string, because if you mouse over on this method it gives you the return type as string. Okay, so you need not to remember that. So you can mouse over to any methods which Selenium provides, and then you can get the return type of that. Fine. Now if you print, there is nothing actually to print, it will just give you an id of combination of alphanumeric what do you call, characters. So it's just I want to keep as it is only. But what I'm going to do actually here, first I need to click on this button. Okay, so that it navigates or it goes to a new window, and here kind of let's say that I want to what do you call, identify this particular text box and enter some value, and then close this browser. That's the first scenario we are going to automate it. So for this what I am going to do, inspect this one, and then you can get some unique name. So let's say that the unique name is new tab, right? So I can do here like this, and I will say driver dot find element by dot name, and inside this I'm going to do this and then just say click. Okay, so it will just create a new window and then it pops up there. Now thing is that I need to identify this particular text box, so let me just right click and then do what is id is username, right? So probably I will do like this, driver dot find element by dot id, and then here I will say username, and then I will say dot send keys. Okay, and then here something I'm typing here. Fine. Okay, now let's try to do this one, if this is really working for us or not. Okay, so let me right click and run this, because it is a main method. I can just right click and run this one. So as you can see, it thrown some error actually. Let's see that. What is this error? So it's saying that somewhere it is not found, element not found. Probably that is the error. Yeah, you can see username is not found. But whereas we have seen that in the inspect, right? The reason is that in between this line and this line of code, there is a huge change that happened into the browser, because our driver is what do you call, is still into the current window only, even though this particular browser is what do you call, rendered into a new tab. My driver instance is still here only. Okay, so I need to navigate, even though you are seeing this window, your driver is still locating or still pointing to this parent window only. So that's where actually you need to use the get window handles. Okay, so for this, so in between these two lines of code that happened, right? So for that reason, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a set and set of string, right? Because your get window handles returns me this one. And here I will say windows equal to, I will say driver dot get window handles. Okay. And if I mouse over here, you can see it is just returning a set with string. Let me just import this one. Fine. Okay. Now, once I'm done with this one, what I'm going to do, I need to switch to that window. Now, how do I know that window is there or not there? So for this, something I need to say that, see, at this moment, I know that there are two windows only. This is first, this is second, right? Now, can I do something like this here? Driver dot switch to, okay, dot window. Now this should accept a name or handle actually, window name or handle id actually. Id means which I'm getting from this. Okay, so now how do, now here windows is there, right? Now windows I cannot put actually, I need to go to the next actually. So now this windows is actually handling or holding two ids actually. One is your this current id and this id as well. So I want to go to the next id actually here. So simple way I'm writing at this moment, what I'm going to do here, so I will do a straight approach here. I will say string parent equal to, or I can say, because see it now launched two, I mean my driver is now holding two browser windows, right? So I'm writing like this for this. So first window equal to, I will use here iterator actually. Iterator in the sense I can do a next to this one. So for this, what I'm going to do here, I will use a iterator. So iterator of string, okay, and then I'm just saying something here, and in this case I will do windows dot iterator. Okay, now let's keep this as it is. Now when I'm saying here iter dot next, what it will do, it will first go to the first item actually. Okay, now what, but I need the second item, right? So I will go for here and I will say second window. Okay, now here I will say iter dot next again, iter dot next. Now in this case I am holding the second window id. Now in this case, instead of windows, what I can do, I can put like this actually. Oops, control C, control V. Now that's it. Now what it will do, this is my first window, this is my second window which I need to switch to. So I switch to that, and now I'm doing this driver dot find element. Now whatever, after switching this, whatever I'm doing here, next lines of code, whatever the next lines of code, that time I will be still continuing working on this particular window only. I'm not yet come to this particular window. So for this, if I want to switch back to this window, I will show you that here. Now here what I'm going to do, I will say driver dot get current, get title or else. Okay, now in this case get title. Now here this is giving my second window title actually, second window title. Now I want to go to the parent window, so I have to again do a switch to dot window. This time what I'm going to do, this first window I need to do, see, either this first window I can use or I can use this parent window also, which I did at the beginning actually, because this particular, what do you call, my parent window, I have captured it earlier only, so I can use either this one or this one, both are same actually. So here once I'm switching to this one, now I'm printing again actually here. Now driver dot get title. Okay, now let me do one thing, some wait I'm doing here. Okay, so that's the reason, see, because I have two different windows here, that's the reason I always recommended you guys to use the driver dot quit. Because if I'm doing driver dot close, then what might happen, the driver which is the last driver, only that browser, I mean the browser window that is pointing to this browser driver instance will be only closed. The other browser will still remain open actually. So that is why it is always use driver.quit, which means that whatever browsers it opened actually, whether it is one or multiple, everything will be closed automatically. Okay, so that's the difference between driver.close and quit. Okay, fine. So now, okay, so till here I'm keeping here. So let's try now what this will do. Let's quickly go over to that. I'm clicking this, which goes to a new tab. I'm switching to the new tab by doing all this logic, and then I'm just typing something, getting the title of the new browser window, waiting for some time, and switching back to this particular window, getting the title again, which will give me the first window or my the parent window, and then I'm quitting my browser. Let's see this now. See, before we were getting error, right? Now I'm not going to get any error actually. So let me run this. Okay, so it is switching to a new window. Okay, and you can see now in the full name, now it entered the value, and now it moved to the first window, and then it captured the title. See, this is my, what do you call, the second window actually, which I took from here actually. I'm getting the title. Okay, now after that I'm switching back and I'm doing the get title of the first window. That's where actually it is coming, and then it close, it quit actually. Quit means both of the browser windows it quit actually there. So this is, so this approach I would suggest when you know there are one or two, there are two windows only. And normally if you see any links that you're clicking and you're performing certain action on your real-time applications, it will move to the new window, and then you can close that, come back to your first window, and you can perform the action. So it's pretty much straightforward actually. So it's not limited to only send keys. You can perform any other task also on that to do on the second window. So whatever you want, you can do there, all the automation stuff, and then come back to the first window. So this is a straightforward when you have only two windows opened. But there are instances where we can have multiple windows, like in this sense, if I'm going to this one, let me close this one. If I'm clicking on this, you can see it is launching multiple windows actually. So probably here I don't want, oops, sorry. So here I don't want to like do any much actions, because normally when there are multiple windows, probably in the automation, I might want to check that whether there are two pop-ups popped up or not, or I might get or assert actually the, what do you call, the URL of this or the title of that one, and then close each one and then finish my test case. Okay, but yes, if you want to go inside this, let's say that how many links are there, to count those things, you can even do that. Okay, let's do one thing actually here. We will do one thing now. When we click on this button, two browser pop-ups are coming, right? Now whenever it is coming to the qavbox demo, I have to fetch actually how many, what do you call, how many links are present, that I'm going to print it. Now the question comes, how do the driver knows that whether I'm on this screen or on this pop-up or screen actually? That's what we are going to see. Because see, if I'm saying driver dot switch to window, I don't know whether this is my first window or this is my first window actually. So that's where actually the question is coming here. Fine. Okay, so in this case, what we are going to do, we will switch to that window, and we will first identify that by using this browser title, whether it is QAB box demo or not. If it is matching that particular browser title, then we will be acting something and then coming back, because we know actually. So as a testing point of view, we know that which browser has what kind of elements actually. So that's why based on the title actually, we will be identifying what kind of automation we need to do there. Okay, and then we will be performing that and closing that pop-ups. So for this, let me just close it again. Okay, one more thing to note, whenever you're doing for the first time, like whenever you load this particular URL and then you click on this button, you might not get the pop-ups actually, because your browser might block the pop-ups. So for that reason, you have to click the notification here on the browser URL or browser text box actually, and you have to allow the pop-up actually. That's where actually you could able to do that. Fine. So let me close this one. So for the first thing, what I need to do, I need to identify this particular, what do you call, window, right, or the button actually. So for this, I just commented actually this beginning thing, and let me just go here and right click, inspect, and then here you can see there is some name multiple is there, right? So let's write this. So driver dot find element by dot name, and then here multiple. Okay, dot click. Now this will trigger me the multiple browser windows. Those are basically the three browser windows it will be launching actually. Fine. Now what I need to do, as usual, as we have seen in our just some time back, we have seen with the two browser windows, right? I will be creating a set actually, which will be holding the entire window handles. So what I will be doing here, get window handles, right? Okay, fine. Now here, let me just try to print here like how many windows it popped up, number of windows, and then here I will say sorry, windows dot size, because it is a collection. I can use window dot size. Fine. Okay, now once I'm done with that, I can use actually one for loop. So we have seen here iterator actually. Okay, fine. This time let me show you a for loop actually, how we can use a enhanced for loop to deal with these things. So what I will do, because it is collection of string, right, so I will be taking the individual string in what, in this collection, and then here I will be writing a if condition. What I will say, if it is not parent window, then you switch it. Okay, then you switch, because see, anyway I am on the current window only, right? So I don't want to switch it. And when I'm saying this windows, this is holding my, so like this parent id, then the child 1 id, and then the child 2 id, right? Now for the first time when the for loop is going over, it will be coming with the parent id, right, which I don't want to switch it. I want to switch the other windows actually, other child windows. So that is what I want to write here. So what I will say here, not parent window, which I already captured, right, equals this one window. Okay, so this will always make sure that I'm not going to switch to the parent window. Okay, because I am handling these lines of code, this for loop is only for the child windows only. So here I will say switch, oops, what did happen? Okay, so here driver dot switch to, now this time I will be saying window, which one actually, this window. Okay, window means all the child windows, because I'm saying not, so it will never come to the parent window. Once I switch to this one, let me just print actually the driver dot get title. So at least we will come to know that it went through each window actually. Now is it only the testing we always do, like get the what do you call, get the child window and then you are done with that? Not really, right? Sometimes let's say that you want to verify the particular, what do you call, and the window title or the window URL, or let's say that on a particular your child window you can perform certain action. So for an instance, let's say that if it is coming to this window, then get me the number of links. So there are actually 8 links here, so I can verify if it is coming, if this pop-up is appearing, make sure that there are 8 links present on this particular screen. Now how do I know that this I mean the driver is currently holding this particular browser window? Because on the runtime we need to do that. So I know actually for this particular browser window the title is qavbox. So can I write a if condition like this, driver dot get title, if driver dot get title dot contains if it is qavbox, which is my demo site, Okay, so here actually I need to verify actually whether there are 8 items are there or not there. So what I can do, driver dot find elements, because I have to get collection of the links by dot tag name. For link there is a tag name a is there, right? Now if I put this dot size, I will get the number of links actually here. So if I'm coming to this particular window, then fetch me all this. If you are using testng or a JUnit, you can even assert also that this particular size is 8 actually. That's how you can verify. The same thing, if your driver.getTitle is coming to some other window, you can perform something. Maybe there is a text box, you want to verify whether the text box is working fine or not. So like this you can verify actually all those things. Fine. Now here, see, now this particular lines of code is basically going inside the your child windows, right? Now as I'm finishing, see, each loop is determining one particular child window. Now I'm finishing some task here. Now as soon as I'm finishing, can I close that I mean that particular browser window? The problem is that I don't want to keep it hanging actually on my screen. Let's say now it is only 3 windows. Tomorrow let's say that your application is throwing 5 to 6 different windows. Now if I'm not closing as and when I'm finishing the testing, then it will be hanging throughout your test execution. So it is always good practice, as you finish the testing, you close that. Now here you can see I'm closing this first. So let's say that for the first loop it appeared, it matched to this QAB box, it finished the testing, and then it closed this one. Means currently your driver is not holding any browser window. Even though there are 2 browser windows present, your driver, because the driver where you switched, you already closed that, it means that you need to switch to the other window. So that is what the second loop will be doing that. So like this, if you finish, if you see, I'm keep on closing all the browser windows, all the child browser windows actually, because driver dot close will only close the current window your driver is holding. Now by doing this, the time I'm coming out of this for loop, you will see your parent window is still opened, but your your driver session is not holding any instance, because we are not switching to the parent window yet actually. So that is what we are going to do here. Driver dot switch to window. Which window? My parent window, because all the child windows I already closed actually. So here, now this is what the benefit of capturing this one at the beginning. So at the beginning of the session I captured this particular parent window, right? That is what it is helping. So after completing all of your task into the child window, you can move to the parent window and you can perform whatever action on this, because this is your main testing. Let's say that I want to get the title actually, just to know that if it is really what you call switch it to the parent window or not. After doing this, whatever task you mentioned it will do, and then driver dot quit. Now driver dot quit means it will quit all of the browser windows. Driver dot close will only close the current instance actually, current browser instance. Now let's see this in action. Right click, run. So the first window appeared and then it closed quickly. Now this is the second window, now it is switching to the parent window, and then it closed the browser. You can see number of windows are 3, because we were expecting 3. Now the first window that appeared here, which is matching to my requirement, and then it fetched how many links are there. After that it moved to the second child window, and then there is nothing actually, I mean no testing is required. So it came out of the for loop, then it switched to the parent window where it captured the parent window title. Actually, this is browser windows, and then it waited for 3 seconds and then closed the entire browser instance. So that's how you will be testing your multiple browser windows. Okay. So hope this session is helpful. Do subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't. Thank you for watching.